All right, thank you, Dana, for letting me video your lesson.
You're welcome.
How long have you been teaching before we review this lesson?
This is my second year teaching gifted. I have been teaching for 15 years, so 13 was in first grade, and then I moved to gifted, so this is my second year teaching fourth grade gifted.
Did you teach fourth grade last year?
I taught reading and math, fourth grade gifted, and fifth grade math last year. This year I'm all fourth grade for every content.
Wow, what a
So,
challenge.
It is. It's fun, but it's a challenge.
After reviewing the lesson that we watched, your math lesson, teaching multiplication, I'm going to ask you a few questions and we'll discuss where we want to go from there. All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst lesson you've ever taught or 10 being the best, how would you rate yourself or that lesson?
I would give that lesson maybe a 6 on that one.
I would agree. That's pretty good. What were you pleased about that lesson?
I was pleased that the kids are beginning to understand multiplication. It's our first few lessons on multiplication, so probably I would say maybe 75% of them were understanding how to multiply, and so they were able to work in groups independently with what I had, but it wasn't, too in-depth. There was a little bit of a review, so those are some things that I liked.
So how long have you taught multiplication before today?
This was lesson 3.
Lesson 3. They did do very well.
Lesson 3. So we're working on the area model and partial products for multiplication.
Gotcha. All right, you stated that it would be a level 6. What would you need to move it closer to a 10? What would you see that you would like to make it better?
I think for them, with it being the gifted class, I need them to be more, to think more independently and to be able to produce their work instead of me give them the work and then they just answer it. They need to start and maybe come up with problems or be able to work on their own.
Right. So you need the students to be producers, not just
yes.
to do
I think for them, that would be the best thing for them to be the producers.
Is that a challenge, getting them to think that way?
For some, it is.
Yeah.
But some like it. Some like to be challenged and think outside the box and do something different. Some still want you to hold their hand, and I think that's where we need to move these kids, is where they can think more for themselves.
Okay. What would your students be doing differently if this class was a 10? What would their tasks look different? Would their lesson look different?
Well, with the groups, they were all at their desk and they were working on paper pencil, or they may have had some manipulatives. But I think with me having the Chromebook cart, that maybe we could have 1 or 2 groups working with some technology for their groups while I'm working with the group at the back table.
So that's great that you have the Chromebook card. Do you have it all day?
I have it all day. 26 Chromebooks all day long.
Excellent. How are the kids using the Chromebooks? Are they pretty comfortable with them?
Pretty much. You got a few that still, we do star reading, star math, and we do some things on the Chromebooks, but that's an area I think I need to work with just in my classroom in general, is more technology.
Right. So they're using it more for easy thinking, gaming,
right.
But not really creating.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Tell me more about what that would look like if we did that, if we did more collaboration and Chromebook.
Google Classroom is becoming very popular,
Yes, it
so that's one area. Now, with first grade, I couldn't do it because they were not independent. Now that I've moved to these kids that can do more, I think implementing Google Classroom, having some lessons where they've got to create something, where they can turn it in, something like that, I think would be better for the students to be able to think.
Will Google Classroom be totally new to you? Is that something you've done before?
I've played with it a little bit, just kind of going in to see a few things, but I'm not a savvy user yet. Hopefully I can be.
Gotcha. Well, we can work on that. We can do that. I know some of the kids probably have played with it, but I don't
think
know
they
how.
did. I think they did a little bit last year with their
Right.
third grade teacher, but I'm not sure exactly how much she did with them.
Okay. And is that, I know in the math classroom, using Google Classroom can be a little more of a challenge, but is that where you would like to put your focus, is
I
in
think
math?
so.
Okay.
Maybe with groups, with them working independently.
I think that's a good idea. So they're going to have to be independent.
Right.
So if we're going to work toward using Google Classroom more to make them independent learners in the math lessons, how could we measure that change? What do you think we could do to see if that's working?
I mean, I guess we could just do different assignments to see if they complete
Okay.
it, give them assignments to begin with, and have a rubric that I can kind of check by after they complete a task to see if they're making progress by looking at something. You know, did they finish the assignment? Was it complete? Did they have many errors, or just something like that I can look at quickly when I'm looking at it to see if it's actually working.
Are they pretty comfortable with rubrics, or would that be something new that we need to kind of teach them how to use that?
They know a little bit about them. I've
Okay.
used them with others, but I think it would be good to have one for them by their desk as they're working on it to kind of see.
To guide them through
to
that.
guide them, yeah.
Okay. So we've talked about Google Classroom. We've talked about being independent thinkers. The math, group work. So how do you want to put that into our goal? What's your goal to improve this?
Let's see. Students will be able to produce their own work around the skill in math.
Very good.
So that if I give them the skill, then they can create something that shows that they know how to solve those problems. Whether it be
Very good.
constructive response skills, or they build a problem, or
Right.
they create a problem that has an error and they have to figure out what's wrong, something like
Okay.
that.
So you're working on multiplication now. What's the next?
But we'll spend multiplication because it's just 3-digit by 1-digit now. So
Okay.
we're going a single digit by multi-digit, then we'll go to multi-digit by multi-digit. So we'll
Okay.
spend, probably until Christmas on
So you'll be
multiplication.
on that for a while. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If you hit this goal, which I hope you will, would it really matter? Would it make a difference, do you think?
Yes, I think so. And I think these kids would really be excited that they could do something other than paper, pencil, or,
think so, too.
I think it would give them a sense of pride and accomplishment. So I really think this group could do it.
It will be different than what's going on in your other classrooms
Right.
also, so it's a
Right.
challenge to keep them
Right.
engaged and independent.
Yes.
So if we want to increase their independent engagement and their independent work and production, so what teaching strategy do you think we can use to do that?
Probably the Google Classroom.
Classroom,
I think
okay.
that would be the best one.
And use the Chromebooks for that. So just
Yes.
increase the amount of technology that they're
Right.
using. Are they already familiar with coming in, getting a Chromebook? You have that?
Yes,
They
they
have them.
know they're assigned a Chromebook. They know how to log in. We have Clever, so I can put things on Clever so they can.
So they're
go
familiar
straight-
with that.
Yes.
So they'll be
yes.
ready to go in.
The only thing that we'd have to really work on is going into Google Classroom and finding the assignment
Okay.
and doing things like that.
Gotcha. All right. So what do you want our next steps to be? So the next lesson, what are our next steps? What do we want to try first?
I think what we may need to do is, since it will be during groups, maybe let my group at the back table be the group that has the
Okay.
Chromebook so that I can do the teaching in small groups with kids.
That's a great idea.
And then let the other kids continue work at their seats with work, but for a week or two, just let my table be the
So do
Google
you-
Classroom.
So does your table do they swap groups within one period, or they do your lesson this day, Tuesday they do something else?
It's each day they're at a different rotation. I have
Okay.
4 rotations, Monday through Thursday, and each group comes to me once during the day.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
like group 1 would be Monday, group 2 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday would be 3 and 4.
Okay.
So, but I think that would be the best thing is to start with me at the
I think so too.
back table. And
They can answer
then-
any questions.
Right, and I can go step by step with them the first week. Second week, give them an assignment and watch them. And then by
Right.
week 3 or 4, let them be at their